Hello and welcome everyone to This is 65. My name is Erin Ackenheil and I'm your hostess today. This is 65 is our show brought to you by Blackpoint Insurance. At Blackpoint, we help Medicare beneficiaries nationwide learn how to navigate the A, B, C's, and D's of Medicare. We are a team of brokers where we work together to make sure you're making the best possible healthcare decision for your needs. We also have a major focus on growing broker businesses, helping agents and brokers to launch, grow, and retain their business. We are eager to introduce our guest today. Our show, This is 65, is all about the people we meet in the process of helping people make these decisions. And we meet some amazing individuals, people who are entrepreneurs, side hustlers, people who are launching their own businesses and volunteering in the community and just giving back and have so much quality and good information to share. I'm excited to bring on guests that are helping people build and grow their businesses. Today, I'm amazingly excited to introduce Lanny Udell. Lanny owns her own business where she teaches people about search engine optimization or search engine SEO marketing, so to speak. She's going to explain to us today what that is and how that can be accessible to small businesses that you're looking to grow and launch. She's also an expert at branding, so helping people with the right messaging across the media platforms to help build, grow, and retain their businesses. So I'm so excited to have Lanny with us today. Lanny, welcome to This is 65.
Well, thank you, Erin. It's just great to be here.
Well, we're so honored to have you on. You're such an amazing woman. You bring so much to the table. You've been running your own business successfully for years. So inspirational to all of us out there that are trying to grow and launch and retain our businesses, right? And figuring out what are the things we need to do to be competitive? What are the things we need to do to put our toe in the water to make branding and marketing and growing really accessible to us when we're not maybe a big corporation? So I'm really excited to have you here to share all this information today. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
Wonderful. So Lanny, I thought maybe we could just start off with you just telling us a little bit about your background. How did you get into launching your business? Tell us about your business. How did you get into search engine optimization, marketing, and branding?
Okay, well, I started my career in New York as an advertising agency copywriter. And at that time, I was working on campaigns for television, radio, and print. And when I came to California, I decided I'm going to go out on my own, no more job. And about that time, business was moving to the web, and I wanted to be there where the action was, of course. And I was able to do a lot of networking and get work and build and grow from there. And it's been so amazing because, as we all know, the e-commerce and business on the web changes rapidly and constantly. So you have to really keep up with what the latest trend is in that regard.
Right. I can imagine. I just feel like a lot of my listeners out there, first of all, we are live, so people can give comments or ask questions to Lanny. And I feel like, Lanny, your experience, coming all the way from New York, going bi-coastal, coming out and launching your own business, sort of leaving the rat race of a corporate type job, and really launching out on your own. That's something a lot of my followers are doing as well, or would like to do, right? So that took a lot of courage. And did you find any challenges going on your own, or was it a pretty smooth transition working from sort of a corporation to your own independent business?
Well, the challenges, of course, were starting over in a new place. I came out here several times to do some networking before I actually made the leap. I didn't just go cold.
No cold turkey.
And I mean, it's always challenging to keep business flowing, keep it in the pipeline. And if it's not, then you go, oh my God, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
Probably your viewers can relate to that.
Right. They definitely can. And it can be challenging. I feel like, just as entrepreneurs, a lot of times things can be isolating, right? You're on your own trying to figure out how to do things. So building your network can be really, really important.
Yeah, it's critical. It really is.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about your business. I kind of wanted you do a couple of major things, right? The branding and the SEO marketing. So maybe start with branding. Tell us a little bit about that. Why is branding important, even for a small business? How does a good branding strategy help a business grow?
Well, branding is your identity. It's what sets you apart from your competitors. And, why should I pick you versus the guy down the street? And so you accomplish that through your positioning. You need to have what's called a USP, a unique selling proposition. And everything flows from that. And you're going to do, you're going to have a logo, you're going to have graphics that are unique to you, a tagline that says what you're all about in 3 words. And then everything you do in your marketing and your communications across the board reflects your branding.
Got it. So it's interesting what you said. So, I think you called it the USP, your unique, yeah. Was it unique selling?
Unique selling proposition.
Yeah. Got it. I mean, so I feel like that's really important for any business. It's kind of like we used to call it the elevator speech, your 1-minute introduction, who you are and what you do and why you provide value to your potential customer.
Right.
So kind of taking that pen to paper, and how do you help people kind of condense that story to really project the message that they're trying to get out there to attract the right customers?
Well, we have to look at what the person does, what their business is, who their target audience is, what needs are they aiming to fill, and can go from there.
Got it.
How is that different from what the competition is doing? How can we differentiate you?
Right, exactly. And so by distinguishing yourself a bit, then, it's going to attract that right customer base and help you really grow your business. Wow. So it seems really important. I feel like a lot of small businesses in particular probably dismiss the benefits of branding, right? They just don't think they can build a brand like a big corporation or something like this. But even for a small business, I feel like telling that story might be even more important, right? Because you might be obvious what a big corporation does, but
well, yeah, and a big corporation has millions of dollars to throw behind it.
Right.
So
I've got to check my bank account, but I don't think I have $1 million ready to spend on this. So gotcha.
So we small business people have to be very targeted in what we do and how we spend our money, and who we want to reach and how we're going to reach them.
Right. So if someone consulted with you on your branding strategy, you would help us to formulate what those things are by asking the right questions to get us kind of going down the path.
Exactly. Yes.
I feel like for a lot of us, my listeners, when I think about it, we're trying to tell that story, right? But just having the guidance of someone who is an expert, really, who can walk us through that, that's such a big deal. So really interesting how that can help us. I hear a lot of, oh, go ahead, Lanny.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, I think we can all agree the hardest thing to do is write about yourself. Is
true enough.
When I have to sit down and work on my own website, it's like, oh,
exactly. So
it's hard.
Having someone that
you
can
need that objectivity where someone can kind of guide you to where you need to be.
Absolutely. So, the other piece of what you do is SEO marketing. And I think that stands for search engine optimization. I feel like a lot of my listeners probably don't know exactly what that is. So can you just tell me just an overview, the quick 1-minute story? What is SEO marketing? How does it work?
Okay. Well, SEO, as you said, is search engine optimization. And what that does is tells the search, when you do it correctly, it tells the search engine what your website is about, so that when someone is searching for your services or products, the search engines can direct them to the right source. So what I do is called on-page SEO. And what that means is I help you identify the keywords and phrases that are relevant for your business, so that people would be searching for example, Medicare supplemental insurance. And from there, we plug those keywords and phrases into your copy judiciously. There used to be a day when keyword stuffing was the thing, and now that's a huge no-no. You have to be really careful about how you place those keywords, or the search engines will punish you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's the basic of how I help.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, I mean, just to make sure that I understand it, what would happen is, for example, we help Medicare beneficiaries by identifying plan options that'll work well with their Medicare, right? So supplementals, Advantage plans, Part D plans. So the example of how it would work for us in our small business is that basically you would put into our copy of our website and our other media channels certain words, Medicare supplement, Medicare, Advantage plans, whatever. And when people search on Google or whatever, and they type in Medicare, because we have those keywords, there's a likelihood that our site or information would rise towards the top for people to click on.
Yes, that's essentially the way it works. There are many factors that play into SEO, this being one of them, and the most basic and the most important, really. But other things count too. For example, the age of your site. More established sites have more recognition from Google, and it takes time to build that. I mean, one mistake people make is they think, okay, now I've got my website up, I'll just sit back and wait for the phone to ring. Doesn't work that way.
Right.
It can take 4 to 6 weeks before the search engines even find your site.
Right.
So a lot of elements go into it, and you might have heard the expression, it's been around for a long time, that content is king, and still,
Whatever that.
because the search engines look for fresh content. If they detect that your site is being ignored, they'll ignore you too.
Right. Makes perfect sense. Wow.
And
There's
that's
so
the
much
value of a blog, by the way.
Oh, that's good to know. Exactly.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit, about, just playing this world of SEO marketing. I mean, is that something that is accessible for small businesses? I mean, does it make sense for entrepreneurs and side hustlers to have an SEO strategy versus big companies? And how would it be a step into that for people who are just getting started?
Well, it's essential to have it. Otherwise, you just won't be found. But what I like to point out to our small business clients, if you're doing business on a local or regional basis, local SEO is essential. And what I mean by that is, say you are a lawyer in San Francisco. Well, how many hundreds of lawyers are there? So in order to be found, we would take your specialty, just for pick it out of the air. Let's say you're a divorce lawyer. So instead of just putting in divorce lawyer, you would put in San Francisco divorce lawyer. So that ups your chances of being
found. Exactly.
In results. Yeah.
So by definition, local SEO is just geographic. You're plugging in keywords that show where you are and what.
Correct.
You do. Yeah.
Right. The areas you serve, not
right.
where you are, but the areas you serve.
Got it. I'd never even thought of it, but that seems like a way to kind of get in. You don't have to necessarily go big. You're just chipping away at getting more generation to your site and to your business to help grow. Wow.
Right.
Now, I just want to remind everybody that we're live with Lanny here. So if you have a question, you can put it on my chat. I saw Angela and John, so welcome to the show. If anybody has a question for Lanny or for me, you can put it in the chat. Or if you're a friend of Lanny's or a friend of mine, you can just say hello, ask a question, throw us a like. She's got a lot of great information to share. So Lanny, just to kind of keep going with this, I'm curious, what is an ideal client for you when you're attracting clients to your business? Who is it attracting? Like, who's your great candidate that benefits the most from your services and finds it really accessible and helps them to grow their business? What does that candidate look like?
Well, that candidate could be a couple of things. It could be somebody who's just starting out their business and they need a communication strategy, they need a website, and whatever else would support that. The other good candidate for me is somebody who is an established business, but perhaps they're pivoting. That's happening a lot through the pandemic. People who, for example, I work with a plumbing contractor in San Francisco who up until recently got their leads primarily from contractors and architects. Now they've decided to change their target audience and go for upscale homeowners, to go directly to the homeowner client. And so we're doing a whole new website to redirect that and target that customer. And then we're going to do some outreach in the form of direct mail to drive people to the website.
That's great.
Along with, they have a pretty robust social media plan in place already. So I'm
good. So you can tap into that a little bit. What's so interesting is I'm hearing you say that. I feel like the pandemic has driven so many businesses to have to transform, right? So even the established businesses are re-looking at how they attract customers. I can see that across a ton of different businesses. Even for us, when we went into the pandemic, we used to be completely a face-to-face business. Everything went to online, Zoom and Google Meet and recordings and so forth. So we've had to completely revamp as well, right? So getting that message out and appealing to that customer, that's a big deal. So I feel like a lot of people who will watch the show, either in the recording or watching live now, these are things that they could really look to integrate with their business and probably work with you, Lanny, to help them do this. I really like it. It's very exciting. And I just like the idea of being transformative. I feel like a lot of my listeners are probably thinking, well, that's great, Erin, that you think branding and SEO marketing is good, but that sounds expensive, right? This is what I get a lot of, entrepreneurs and side hustlers. We don't have the $1 million budgets like we talked about earlier. So is this accessible to people who are starting out and creating a budget? And, is there a way to dip in without breaking the bank?
Sure, of course. I like to tell people, don't think of it as an expense, think of it as an investment, because without this investment, your business isn't going to grow the way you would like it to grow. For someone who's just starting out, a very basic website is all you need. A home page, about page, services, and contact. That's 4 pages. What I would do is I would offer a 20-minute free consultation where we discuss your objectives and your target audience and can come to a concept of what would work for you in terms of a website. And the website is the foundation of, once that's in place, then you can do the outreach to drive people to the website.
Right. I feel like a lot of people would think that this is inaccessible, but I think the fact that you're willing to do this nice 20-minute consult, you learn a little bit about their business, and probably it sounds like staggering recommendations. This could be phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, as it becomes more profitable and they can invest. I mean, that's amazing service that you provide.
Absolutely. That's the way to do it. Yeah. I mean, once you have your website in place, you might want to think about the blog. because a blog is a way to add fresh content, which will keep you alive in the search engines, which will bring more people.
You're inspiring me, Lanny. I'm thinking blog. I wrote it down, blog over here. Local SEO and blog are on my notepad because I'm thinking I could do that, right? So it's benefiting me as well. So everybody out there that's listening, I feel like so many of my friends and followers are people who are side hustlers, launching their own business, trying to leave corporate America, trying to build on businesses that they've started in this sort of new world. And this is so exciting. It just feels so accessible and relevant and important for growth. So I'm just so excited.
One more thing about local SEO. If you haven't already done so, be sure to get into Google My Business. And that's what gets your local program started.
Great. I wrote that down too, Lanny. I'm taking notes today during this interview. So very exciting. I'm so glad that you've been on here. So, you know, obviously I've gotten to know you through working together, and I'm just curious, you know, to share with the audience, tell us a little bit about when you're not working hard and helping people launch and grow their businesses with branding and with search engine optimization. What do you like to do to have fun?
Well, everything being influenced by the pandemic. Prior to that, I danced tango.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And then for a year and a half, no dancing.
Are you a dancer by trade, or is tango just for fun?
Well, I've been a dancer from love all my life.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Well, speaking as one with two left feet, I'm pretty much inspired by doing the tango. Now, normally when you were able to do that face-to-face, do they pair you up with a partner and you're just figuring out how to do it?
Yes, yes. In my case, I was fortunate in that I had a partner.
Oh, perfect, right? So you're tango pro, you can bring with you to the classes on circuit.
Yeah.
Well, now virtual tango hopefully will not be a thing in the long-term future. Great exercise too, right?
Yeah.
So that sounds like a blast. I've got to, now I have to go and get my website more optimized, get my blog going, and maybe I could consider some tango dancing because that sounds really fun as well. So great.
Let me put in a plug, Alma del Tango.
Alma del Tango, where is she located?
San Anselmo.
San Anselmo. Okay, so that's San Anselmo in Marin County, Northern California. Definitely go to do the tango there. Got to jot that down later, Lanny, for my future. That sounds great. Great way to exercise and meet people and have fun, I bet.
Yes.
So, Lanny, you've been running your own business for years now and very successfully, and helping others grow their businesses, always giving back and really investing in people. You know, when you look back on your life a little bit and you think back to your 30-year-old Lanny, right? You know, looking back, is there any advice that you would give your 30-year-old self?
Well, let's see. I think I would say believe in yourself. Yeah. Believe
in yourself. And, you know, when you say that, did you always believe in yourself, or did it take took some time to develop that skill, right?
Exactly.
So it just sounds like, you know, anything is possible, but a lot of times, you know, all of us, you know, throughout our lives, we get insecure and not sure about things. And so it sounds like what you're saying is, if you're a true believer, you're going to make some good things happen.
Exactly.
That's wonderful. Well, Lanny, thank you so much for coming on the show today. You're wonderful. Everybody out there, if you enjoyed Lanny, throw her a like. You know, we really enjoyed having you on. For those of you who have questions, we can answer them after if you have questions that we can address. But Lanny, before we go, please let everybody know how they would get in touch with you, the name of your business, how best to contact you if they want to schedule that 20-minute free consultation and get more information about SEO marketing and personal branding. Sure.
Well, my website is copywhiz.com, COPYWHIZ. And you can email me, Lanny at copywhiz.com. And that's LANNY.
Lanny. So you heard it here. Lanny, thank you for making your entrance on our show. You're absolutely wonderful. You're a pleasure to work with. I so enjoy connecting with you. I think the work you do is really helping people launch their businesses, grow their businesses, develop, gain more customers that are relevant, all of that kind of thing that helps people be successful. So I really appreciate you sharing some of your wisdom today. And for all of our followers out there, please reach out to Lanny and get going on your business. You can do it. But from the words of Lanny, believe in yourself, and I know you can be successful. Have a wonderful day, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you for inviting me. It's been great.
Thank you so much, Lanny. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
See you later, everyone.
Bye.